Big chapter, big book today.
You know what? I think this is the chapter that actually earned its length.
Yeah. So a lot of Xerxes, like Xerxes gets introduced into this picture.
Oh yeah.
Battle
Yeah.
of Thermopylae.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The prelude, the battle, the aftermath.
Oh yeah. That's like remember, Darius dies like the first page.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt very anticlimactic. Like, we saw Darius a lot, and then all of a sudden it's Darius going over the plan for his next invasion, and then he picks a successor.
Like
Then he dies. It's
like yeah, oddly well timed that he's about to leave. Let's pick a successor and he dies.
I don't know. Like I agree, but maybe I don't know. Maybe Herodotus is just trying to. I don't know. Why would the fuck would he do that so early in the next book? Doesn't seem. I don't know if he's aiming for something or he's just recording the history and it just happened to be on that page.
Like we can think of it this way. Maybe like it was probably just an abrupt end. Like maybe he just got sick or like had an aneurysm or something. Like that does happen, and like especially back then, like people did just drop dead
In their 50s or 60s, most likely. Yeah.
So like, yeah, Darius, he probably just died that way. So I'm actually fine with. And for me, it makes a lot of sense that he did that earlier on, because like this was the whole thing of this entire chapter was like Xerxes getting to Athens, like that's like the whole thing. And if you look at it that way, it makes more sense because
It's his campaign to finish what his father started.
yeah.
it's
You
like
could
that.
say.
Honestly, I think like it would actually be pretty. It wouldn't be that hard to like just adapt like this chapter to a movie or two, because like. It feels like a story. Like if you make Xerxes the main character of this chapter, then yeah, it would make a lot more sense. You know, like you have a king who's starting a war, but he dies, and you have Xerxes taking on the mantle of continuing the war.
Yeah, so you could say Xerxes is like Walter White.
You're not. No, don't bring fucking Breaking Bad into this.
No, don't worry. We gotta bring in real references. It's similar to like Shrek 3, right? Where the king dies in like the first 5-10 minutes, and they have to find the successor. It's something like that.
So in this case, finding the successor was like one paragraph.
Yeah, Xerxes, his mother was really helpful in getting him to succeed. And then, as I recall, there was a revolt in Egypt, right?
Yeah, there was a revolt in Egypt like right after Darius died. So Xerxes they were going on the assumption like, okay, I'm going to go to Athens first, or we're going to Egypt first.
And they choose Egypt.
They
They crush the Egyptian revolt. Basically, the first third, you could say, first fifth of the book is Xerxes consolidating himself. You could say he's consolidating.
You could say like it could also just be the thing that like revolts just happen like in.
You like doing the revolt revolution.
Well, come on, like there needs to be a distinction.
That's true.
If it failed, it's a revolt, it's a rebellion. If it wins, it's a revolution.
Herodotus also talks about Xerxes' hubris, right? He wants global domination, right? I think he makes that clear. There's also like a couple of smaller things, like a prize is given to the Persian general who produces the best troops. You also have somebody named Mardonius, right? He has this speech in support of invading the Greek cities because the Greeks are sort of weak, right?
They're like. It's actually what we touched upon in the last last discussion, where the Greek cities, for like the most part, they're very divided. They all hate each other.
Yeah.
And like Mardonius saw that and was like, "Hey, let's take advantage of that." And it doesn't help that Xerxes is mad that they didn't beat Athens in the first time.
That's true.
So like yeah, like it was probably like yeah. It's kind of just more of a justification, I guess, like a military reason rather than an emotional one.
But also, which is really weird, racial inferiority of the Greeks was a part of Mardonius' speech, right? And that just weirded me out, that even back then, humans were still thinking of race or ethnicity. It's weird. In the ancient classical times, Greeks are thinking, like the ancient world, they were thinking this way, and then Rome in the medieval period, you see a break of that. It was just personal rulerships. And then nationalism comes back in a different flavor.
Well, it's kind of weird, since like we don't see that with the Ionian revolt really, when like you have like the Persians saying, hey, you're degenerates, you're like XYZ, racially inferior. So like maybe that could be like a Mardonius thing, because like that's like the only time it's brought up.
But the fact that Mardonius brought it up means that there was some circle of people that did believe this, right? So like Mardonius, this didn't just come up by himself. There had to be some sort of culture that sort of propagated this ideology. But who knows if it's a majority or not. So then there's the speech of Xerxes' uncle, Artabanus. against the invasion because he cites a bunch of risks, like a bridge in which if the Persian army crosses, they could get cut off and that could spell trouble for them. Zeus comes in, Herodotus brings up the gods again, and punishes the two mighty, right? Sorry, Zeus doesn't come in. His uncle was bringing that up as an argument, I think, right? So obviously the people for the invasion, that argument ended up taking over and winning. And
you're gonna ignore the fact that Xerxes called off the invasion, then he had a dream.
Oh,
then he had a dream where if he doesn't attack them, something bad happens. Like, I forgot the exact thing that happens, like maybe he dies or something. But like, you're just gonna ignore the fact he had a vision that he had to invade Greece.
I mean,
And not just that, he went through that multiple times, and once he's like, okay, wait, I can't be the only one, he made his uncle sleep in his same bed. And he had the same vision. You're just gonna forget about that?
I did, yeah. Herodotus is very weird with Persian kings and dreams. It's I don't know. Don't know why he sets dreams up for just the Persian
It's funny. It felt like this was going to be a moment where the uncle, he was disagreeing. He's like, "This is nothing but a dream. It's just visions in your head." And then it felt like this was the first time we're seeing someone actually argue against the premonitions and visions. And then all of a sudden, he goes to sleep in Xerxes' bed, has the same dream, and is like, "You know what? Actually, in my mind, I agree with Xerxes.
You know what? I was wrong. Like, let's go.
It's sort of like deterministic. Like this is not too far away from the Iliad and the Odyssey. It's still that sort of Greek tradition of they haven't really broken off in like the classical philosophy and questioning things. It's more like fate's a thing, visions are a thing, prophecies are a thing.
You could also see it on a Persian-centered view. It could also be that hey, we didn't want to fight this war, okay? Xerxes, he was going to back down with the gods,
They had to step in.
They stepped in and we lost for that reason. That could be a thing.
So then, the expedition begins, guys.
More like he spent 4 years getting his troops. Then the expedition begins.
But yeah,
let's not forget, the empire's huge.
Yeah, it's in 300. Like he's getting everything from the vastness of Asia to come support against the Spartans, sort of thing.
This is Persia is huge, so it's gonna take a while, and they don't have cars, so it'll take some time. So then they go to Egypt, and then the expedition begins.
Yes. This was when Pythias offers a fortune, right?
Yeah.
For the war effort. Yeah.
Pythias, by the way, is a very rich guy.
Very, very well.
Very.
Donald Trump of the
bro. It'd be like if someone has as much money as the United States. That's how rich the guy was.
Yeah. So would you say it's like Jeff Bezos giving his entire fortune to the U.S. Army?
It would be like taking the top 10 billionaires and put together their wealth, and maybe it's around that. It's gonna be around.
That becomes like the U.S. military.
Yep. And then I believe he offered it to Xerxes.
Yeah.
In exchange for his son not being in the war.
I think. I just think he just gave him the money.
Yeah, he just wanted to give it for the war effort. He rewards him back though, Xerxes. He rewards him back.
Yeah, he said you can have anything you want.
Yes.
And that's what he asked for.
So Xerxes also sends a message to Greece, right? He is also demanding surrender as well. There's also the story of a rapist that got punished as well. I don't know if you guys remember that. No.
I think it was a brief mention.
It was one sentence maybe?
Yeah. So then he makes bridges, right, over the Hellespont, but then it's ruined by a storm. So the gods coming in, OG gods. He punishes the waters by destroying the bridges. So he sort of does what they wanted him to do, right? I mean, what the fuck?
I think in other historical accounts, they said they literally had people stabbing the ocean. None of this and they
arrows to the sea,
and they declared a victory.
Something you hear from a parody movie of that kind of thing. It was just stabbing.
It's like Meet the Spartans. You guys know that comedy movie? Meet the Spartans, yeah. So then a fucking solar eclipse happens.
Wait, there's an eclipse?
Right, yeah. There's a solar eclipse when the army's sort of departing, and it's favorably interpreted by the Magi, by the people that can interpret it, right?
Oh yeah, there was.
And they're like, fuck, we gotta go back.
Yeah.
We gotta go back. The eclipse happens. It's so weird, man.
The gods are giving mixed signals,
So then Pythias
the guy that donates, then asks he asks Xerxes for his eldest son to stay home from the war. That's when it happens.
Okay, that's what it was. Yes. Sorry.
He demands it now, not before.
Then he killed the son.
He fucking chops him in half.
Yeah, he killed.
Yeah,
he
chops
killed
He chops him in half.
He killed the son.
He gets offended. You know, he donated his wealth to Xerxes to help him out.
Never brought up again.
This
in
is
the
so
chapter.
fucking
Never brought up
weird.
again in the chapter. By the way, it just happens.
Oh my god. He visits Troy, right?
Well, it's on the way from the Hellespont. So.
Yeah. Visits Troy, makes a couple sacrifices. There's panic among his troops, alright? Like a superstitious panic that starts to envelop, right? And as I recall,
Oh wait, didn't Pythias, eldest son, he cut him in half?
right?
Then the armies like had to go around the body. I think.
I think so, yeah. Go spraying in the house. No, okay, I'll stop connecting. Yeah. What he did to Victor, man, holy shit.
I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking spoil it if you don't.
Okay,
if you don't shut the
sorry,
fuck up
sorry.
about it.
I forgot. Did it say if they buried the body or did they just leave it and walk around?
I think they just left it.
they just left
Yeah.
it. That's interesting.
Then a couple Phoenicians win a random rowing contest.
That was there.
Yeah.
That was a moment.
Xerxes and his uncle fucking contemplate humanity a little bit, right? And the whole point they're trying to discuss about the uncertainty of human success, right? That's what they were like. Him and his uncle were like meditating about, contemplating about. Weird that Herodotus would put it in there.
Actually,
Maybe this is where he ties it into making history some sort of big literary theme for us to learn about.
well, it also fits surprisingly well, I think, because like a lot of their previous, like Cyrus, he died because like he was going on an expedition and he died. He got killed by a queen. Then you have Cambyses, who went on an expedition against Ethiopia, failed miserably.
Yeah.
Darius went on an expedition with the Scythes and barely made it out alive. And like now Xerxes is kind of doing the same thing. He's going on a conquest and he's not gonna know if it's gonna succeed or not. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. But
Yeah, but that could be like a foreshadowing, right? All his ancestors barely succeed, which foreshadows Xerxes' ultimate invasion, which fails.
like
You could say.
I mean, this is like this. He's asking a person after it happened, so like.
That's true. That's true as well. But just the fact that he would add that in there, though, like Herodotus is trying to make some deep philosophical point about history by including things that may not be true, but add definitely a level of like big depth
Well,
to the story.
it's also the case that like this entire chapter is very coherent. Like I think I would say like maybe the most or second most coherent chapter because like for the most part it follows Xerxes the whole time. And, like,
Yeah, very coherently,
like-
making sense.
like-
No like tangents on other things.
Yeah, like there's very little. There's not many tangents. It's talking about Xerxes, where he's at, and what he's doing, and it's only like once he passes the Hellespont that it talks about the Greek cities.
Yes. Okay. So Artabanus then explains that Xerxes has two enemies: the land and the sea. Right. The sea because no harbor can shelter such a huge fleet. The land because supply lines will be stretched too far. And Xerxes' reply is that great success requires great risks. We can relate this to today, obviously. He also has all these plans for supplying the army, which I won't go into detail. It's not that important.
Is it here where Herodotus talked about how many people there were, or is it a bit afterwards?
That's a little bit afterwards. And his uncle also gives him another good piece of advice. Tells him you need to pit the Greeks in Anatolia against the Greeks from the mainland. Right? He explains to do that as well. Take advantage of those intercity rivalries.
And like he does do that because like when he's marching there, like the cities just beat him.
But for some reason, Xerxes he also disagrees, right? And he explains that it's because he believes the loyalty of the Greeks in Anatolia, oh sorry, hold on. Oh sorry, no. His uncle was advising him not to have the Greeks from Ionia, Anatolia fight the Greeks from the mainland. And then Xerxes is like, no, these guys helped me in my Scythian campaign, so we'll keep them. Yeah, it's that. Then there's this local guy who compared Xerxes to Zeus a bit. And there's also these weird omens that happened as they're crossing, right? And they halt at a place in Thrace called Doriscus. Doriscus is then described, right? Won't go into that. And there's apparently, according to this, 1.7 million men.
oh no, that's like just the starting amount. Then he talks about the slaves.
Yeah.
He talks about,
Which is bullshit. Like there's no army that's 1 million men. That wouldn't happen until World War II
and like,
or World War One.
and like he went through all the calculations. He's like, yeah, there's 5 million people. Like, I read that. I'm like, there's 100,000 max. Okay, like,
Yeah.
The population of the world is like what, like 100, like probably like 100 million, maybe. No, maybe like 50, like 80, 90 million. And tell me 1/90th, or like no, not even like more than that. It's just troops in this war.
and like there's an entire continent. There's multiple continents. He's ignoring Africa, ignoring Americas, ignoring China, ignoring like
Yeah,
the-
those don't exist. Yeah, it's so weird.
So like, there's no fucking way. There's 5 million people.
But again, we can attribute this to like, obviously they didn't have like very good methods of collecting it. Nobody can verify what Herodotus said, and this might be just like a little flair that either Herodotus definitely added some flair to it to make it seem amazing.
Yeah, that is one of the limitations.
And you know what? Oh, and you know what? He compared directly the amount of people to the Trojan War as well.
Yes, like yeah.
Which even the Trojan War
That
wasn't
was
possible.
centuries before that. No
And
way.
even that wasn't possible because there's no way Troy had that population, or anyone had that population for that matter.
Yeah. Then he talks about all the different forces within the army. And this and there's this group and this group
And they wear this,
the Libyans.
they
and-
wear this, they wear that. They're commanded by this person, by that
So
person.
you got the near Egyptian Ethiopians, the Eastern or Libyan Ethiopians. Oh my god.
And he named all the commanders except like one commander. He's like, yeah, I'm not even gonna allow them to be named. Like that was like, what the fuck did they do? Okay, like.
Okay, so he talks about the forces, right? Not that important, we could say.
Then he talks about the Greek forces as well.
Yeah. I'll let you take over, Paul.
Well, like honestly, he talked about like all the numbers, blah blah blah. We don't care about that. But like, here's the interesting thing. Even when like the Persians are on their fucking way, like there's still an interstate conflict when it's happening. Like the first step was like making sure that all the wars that are happening are like ceasefire. Like I think they talked about the war between the Athenians and the Aegeans.
Yes.
And then they're like, yeah, this can't go on while this is happening. So they have to do a ceasefire. And then like then all of the cities had to agree who's commanding like the armies, you know. So there's like I know there was one city that was actually going to join them, but then they're like, okay, we'll join if we can command them. They're like, and the Athenians and Spartans were like, no. Well, the Spartans said no. Then they're like, okay, we either command the seas or we command the land. Then the Athenians are like, regardless of what the Spartans say, you're not touching the fucking ships. That's ours.
That's our thing. Yeah.
That's our thing. So the city's just like, okay, well, you're getting shit. You're getting nothing. So they.
Because everyone wanted to rule and nobody. It's so
So
fucking
you can see,
stupid.
even in that situation, they're so prideful that they're like, no. So like, and then they talk about, well, okay, in case one happens, we're gonna have like people there with money, and in case the Persians wins, we give them the money, so we appease them, and if the Persians don't win, we just come back with the money. Like, was that Delos, the city that did that?
I think it was Delos.
It was, yeah, I think it was Delos.
So yeah.
And then like, but for the most part, like, I think
That was like under the reactions, right? To when Xerxes invaded, right? That was like how they were processing it when it happened.
And then like, obviously they're all talking about like, where do we intercept them? And then I think it was it the Spartans that suggested to go to Thermopylae, or was it like someone else? And the Spartans just went there as well.
So was it an embassy, Paul, that you're talking about, or what was? Sorry, what did you say?
Who suggested to go to Thermopylae? I'm not sure if it was the Spartans or if it was like someone else.
The decision is taken to guard Thermopylae instead. Topographical details.
Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. The Spartans decide to go to Thermopylae, and obviously we all know the story. King Leonidas leads the 300
The
Spartans.
300 Spartans against millions of Persians.
Yeah.
Millions. Well, we got to spoil the movie somehow. It wasn't just the Spartans; it was the Thebans. Was it? I think it was also.
It was also in 300, but they made them like pussies.
Irrelevant.
They made them
There's
like,
Thebans.
no, they made them like big pussies. Like I remember it was like how many like the Thebans were like, you guys only have 300 soldiers. We got like 1,000, and Leonidas is like, okay, what's your trade, Theban? I'm a mason. I'm a sculptor. I'm a teacher. What is your trade, Spartans?
Oh no, the Thebans.
Let me look at the sources. Yeah, 7,000 for Spartan army, 120,000 to 300,000 for the Persians.
What do
Still
you
a
mean-
lot.
what do you mean
But
by-
not like 50 million.
Bro, what are you talking about? Fake news? That's 5 billion. Okay, what are you talking about?
Herodotus, they still cite Herodotus with 4,000 casualties, which the 300 Spartans, you can't have 4,000 Spartan casualties, but what are you gonna do?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's 5 million Persians. Okay.
So yeah, obviously Herodotus gets on his his little topographical boner, topography of Thermopylae, topography of the region.
Well, the topography of Thermopylae was the one time it actually makes sense to talk about.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
the one time I'd be like, you know what? It makes sense because that's what actually decided the battle.
It was like a small opening, right? And like within a big like crevice that's hard to get into, and like it would force the Persians to be in a funnel, which is why the Spartans succeeded so much.
Spartans and Thebans, and I think there's also people from Argos as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which makes sense because they're so close.
So like you had all these cities like going to Thermopylae, but like that's like near the end of the book. So like we're jumping the gun a lot.
In classical Herodotus form, we also get a nice family history of Leonidas.
No, that's not even fucking going down. Okay, like there was like a big chunks where I just talked about the entire line of Leonidas,
Which is boring, which is very boring.
which ends at which starts with Hercules, by the way.
Yeah, because everyone claimed they came from what's his face? Agamemnon was it Zeus or like Hercules? Yeah, we know everybody claims they're from a god or a demigod. That's a given. So we also get how Leonidas became king of Sparta after the deaths of his brothers.
And they have sons, the brothers.
Yeah, exactly. He also decides to use Theban troops in order to test their loyalty, as Paul has mentioned. There's some religious and festival obligation that Herodotus talks about.
But that was at the same time that Thermopylae was going to happen as well, though.
Yeah. They also the Greek states wanted to send larger forces. Leonidas prevented them from doing so at the last second.
Oh my god! Can we forgot to talk about the time 400 ships got destroyed by the weather.
Yeah. That was also in 300 as well. I think they were coming up, right near Thermopylae, and that time they capsized, and I think the Spartans saw it too, or they were close to it, and they celebrated.
Yeah, and that was in the movie. They didn't talk about there was no description of how the Spartans were cheering that all the ships were being destroyed. They just said, yeah, 400 ships were destroyed. So how much would that be according to?
And how many men would they carry? Like the numbers seem a little bit preposterous.
I think he would say maybe like 20,000 people died in that or something.
200,000.
20,000. Yeah, sorry, my bad. So
We're going to talk about the 300 Spartans went up against the 1 billion Persians and came out victorious, guys.
Again, that's still in the later. That's like the last 3 pages of the book. Like it's like the whole book was literally a build up to it.
And then this is really weird. This is a weird part. Xerxes sends a scout apparently, and the scout's like they were combing and exercising, combing their hair, I think, and exercising. Weird to include that in there. And then you had this guy named Demaratus. He was exiled. He was previous king of Sparta, guys. He's explaining to Xerxes, as like the traitor that he is, right?
But to be fair, he was exiled. For no good reason, to be fair.
Yeah.
He has the right to be mad.
I don't want to say who I can compare this to, but we know who has a big ego and gets bitter and starts shit.
I swear to God, I will spoil it, Costa.
Come on. I'm always on the edge.
I sort of fucking God, I will spoil it.
Okay, so regardless of that, he's explained to how the Spartans are going to prepare. And they're going to kill it. They're willing to die for this, right? We know the Spartans are hardcore. We know this. Xerxes doubts Demaratus.
Yeah.
He's like, no way this is happening.
Yeah, no way, cat. Stop the cat.
And for sure the Greeks are going to retreat if they see the magnificence of my army. Then the battle happens.
5 days. Like literally, like every day keeps getting worse. Like 5 days happen, no progress. The 6th day happened. Like they keep trying. Then Xerxes is like, okay, what the fuck do we do now?
We can compare this to today. Russians in Ukraine, Soviets in Afghanistan, US in Vietnam, yada yada yada. US in Iraq. Yeah.
To be fair, the Persians did win eventually. The US lost.
They won the battle, Paul. They lost the war.
I would say 100% for Thermopylae. They still have, according to Herodotus, they still have like 5 million left.
That is true, but keep in mind,
They don't have 5 million left. Keep in mind.
And according to Herodotus, there's 5 million left.
do keep in mind, with the Spartans, there are only 300 of them, and I believe Herodotus said like 20,000
Die.
died. So that's like a big
Hey,
loss.
to be fair, it wasn't just the Spartans. We just stopped the Spartan propaganda here. There's the Thebans. There's the Athenians.
That's true.
There's a bunch of other
It
guys.
was a big coalition, contrary to Zack Snyder's movie.
It wasn't just 300 guys fucking destroying everybody else.
Gerald Butler, one of the six pack.
Well, maybe that's why they were combing their hair and exercising. He went to the future. And it was just
So we stopped the Spartan propaganda
That's
here.
true. It wasn't only the Spartans, but at the end of the day, it was 300 people. And they lost, or they won, but they lost a chunk of their army to 300 people, which is a bit skewed.
Yeah.
It's a bit skewed.
There's like different waves, like you said, happened within 5 days. Towards the end, I will say, there's the Delphic Oracle, right, which predicted an incident, and that was gonna really hurt the Spartans, I believe.
Yeah, they said you either run, you either don't fight and you lose Sparta, or you lose one king but keep Sparta.
That's true.
And
They go with the latter.
yeah,
So Leonidas even dismisses the allied troops, which is weird. Leonidas also doubted the courage and strength of the non-Spartans, so we know about that.
but it wasn't just the Spartans who just stayed with them. The Thebans also stayed with
And the
them.
Thespians,
And
right? The Thespians also insist on fighting with Leonidas, and the Thebans also feel like they need to do this as well.
And the rest did leave to go to their cities because they were gonna lose the battle. They lost what they had. They lost their advantage.
That's true.
Yeah.
So then Persian attacks. The Persians that come in, they're massacred, right? They're killed initially. In the last desperate stand of these united Greeks, and the dead on both sides of Herodotus claims are Persian nobles and Leonidas. There's also Herodotus could also apparently recite all the 300 Spartans from memory if he wished. He also include that in there.
Yeah.
Fucking Trump-esque. That's a Trumpy thing. If Trump was a historian, he would do
Well,
that.
to be fair-
I can name all the presidents just by heart, you know.
He says he can. He hasn't done it. He
Doesn't
doesn't
do
do it, but I don't feel like it.
You know what? Maybe imagine the fucking.
Which is weird. It's weird that the closer we get to his lifetime, the more douchey he sounds. Usually, if you're talking about thousands of years before, you can exaggerate, you can make shit up, you can make yourself somehow look good in how you recount the events. But we're getting closer and closer to his lifetime, and he gets like, yeah, I can name them off the chart. I can name them off the top. 5 million Persians. Nah, nah, nah. Yeah. So then, Spartans are at last overwhelmed by the superior numbers of the Persians. And what is the aftermath of the Battle of Thermopylae, guys? Which is how we conclude Book 7.
They keep. Well, first of all, Xerxes got really mad at the Leonidas, so he cut off his body. They cut off the head, and they put the head on a stake or something.
Yeah.
What did they do with the rest of the body? Just like I forgot what they did with the rest of it.
Let me see.
Either way, Xerxes wasn't happy about it, and he dishonored him post-death.
That's true. Then there was 2 Spartans, right? Eurytus and Aristodemus,
One
who were sick at the time. Who were in the sick bay. Eurytus rushed into battle and died, but Aristodemus returned to Sparta in disgrace. Then there's the case of a man named Pantites.
No.
Pantites,
Pantites.
another disgraced Spartan.
Is that the one who killed himself?
I think so, yeah. And then there's the Theban contingent who surrendered to the Persians at Thermopylae. But Xerxes questions Demaratus then later on, and all Spartans are as good as these, and how numerous are they? That's what he questions them. He also says they also talk about what strategy that Xerxes should adopt from henceforth. And I think Demaratus then advises Xerxes to open a second front against the Spartans, but this time
he advised to have 300 ships sail around to Sparta, so he could keep them busy.
That's true.
And it was another one of Xerxes' advisors who says, "No, that's a stupid idea. We'll just keep our ships
I
together."
record that the other guy. It's not even important.
Well, yeah. Then
Xerxes' brother also argues to divide the Persian fleet in order to accomplish this, right? His brother accuses Demaratus of disloyalty, which, he's an exiled Spartan king. He doesn't owe you loyalty.
Well, Xerxes did say, to be fair, he gave us good advice. We just didn't follow it.
Yeah, we just fucked it up.
So he did go out of his way and say, hey, if you disgrace this guy, you're gonna die.
So Xerxes ends up doing a little bit, a nuanced decision. He accepts his brother's take, but does not want to drag shit with Demaratus. He doesn't want to talk shit.
So, and I'm pretty sure that's just foreshadowing of them losing the battle of Which one's the other battle they lose? Plataea?
Was it the battle
Of Sardis? Plataea?
I think it's Plataea.
Whatever. Like, that's just a foreshadowing when Xerxes is eventually going to lose there.
That's the naval battle,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So yeah, like the last few pages is just foreshadowing for the rest of the battles. That's basically what happens.
And to my knowledge, Paul, from my notes, all I know is that Leonidas is impaled. His head is impaled on a spike. That's it.
I guess we don't know what happened to the rest of the boys. He just gets.
Yeah.
spiked.
And also Herodotus finally describes how Demaratus warned the Greeks of Xerxes' intentions by a secret message right before the invasion. So Demaratus was also secretly helping out the Greeks as well towards the end. That's what I
That's what it says. I'm not sure I buy it, given what we know about the rest.
about what happens to them, yeah. But it could be that Herodotus is saying that because maybe he asked the Spartans and some of them were revisionists and they wanted to not make Demaratus look bad and make it seem like the Spartans were shooting themselves in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alright. Anything you guys found in particular about this?
Yes, there's one particular thing. Xerxes, it wasn't seen that he wasn't portrayed badly. I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, that's he's not portrayed disparagingly. Just as competent as his father. I mean,
I'm not sure
I don't know.
it would be as. I'm not sure I would say he's as competent as his predecessors. Cause I feel like he's much more.
No, because he dismisses a lot of things that we know would end up being true. But it's like if somebody tells you that these men are willing to die, in your mind you're like, most humans don't want to die, so maybe the Spartans are gonna retreat. Like to me, it's like a common sense thing, and obviously in hindsight, you're an idiot, Xerxes, but it makes sense at the time.
I
right?
think the biggest issue with Xerxes is he heavily underestimated the Spartans and the the Thebans, like the whole
That's
the
Thebans,
300.
yeah.
He looked at his own group. He was so he
confident.
Was,
Well, because they have such huge
overconfident.
numbers.
You can even argue he was cocky. He's saying they're gonna look at my 1.7 million, however much he actually had.
$5 million.
We're gonna keep going up every time we begin.
Small,
$2
small,
billion.
small loan of $1.7 million. So.
He looks at his team and he says, those Greeks, they're gonna look at our warriors and they're gonna kneel down, they're gonna grovel at our feet, and then they go in and they get walloped, and then he's like, okay, well, maybe he didn't go there.
The problem with the Thermopylae, he couldn't use his numbers advantage
Because of the geography.
Yeah,
of
the geography. They do their geography much better than Xerxes does. To be fair, if you had an army, obviously of 10 million, and they had 5 people, obviously you'd think, obviously I'm gonna win,
But even if it was 300 in that crevice, if you really had 1.7 million, even that still wouldn't be a problem. You just have your 1.7 million just go in one wave, and they would eventually overwhelm the 300.
That's true, but they also discuss it. They also have to feed the
troops.
The
Yeah,
troops. They gotta They gotta get them all moving. It's gonna be so hard to mobilize that amount of people
if they existed.
That's true.
Sorry.
but here, I think Xerxes probably would have had a better time if he didn't go after Greece and went after somewhere else.
Maybe
He already has Egypt.
No, just continue into Africa is what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, he probably would have had an easier time. He just continued there because
Or maybe India. But yeah, historically speaking, it's always been harder to go there. Much easier to go into the rest of Europe.
yeah, you see, it was much easier for Alexander to go from Greece all the way to India
Yeah.
than the other way around.
That's because Alexander's much more talented. Alexander, if he's cocky, he earned his cockiness.
There's a reason they call him the Great.
Yeah. There's no Xerxes the Great. There's no Darius the Great. His father's called the Great. Cyrus the Great. Fuck, it's Xerxes.
Xerxes.
Got showing him the stick again, Anyway.
But I'm surprised he wasn't seen as an unreasonable person. Maybe probably revisionist.
But cocky.
He's cocky. I think to be fair, you would be cocky too if you had that army.
Would I be cocky? I would think we were powerful, but I've been taught so many times that arrogance gets you kicked in the ass at some point. That I need to control myself.
No, literally every of the predecessors got fucked in the ass because of their cockiness.
That's
literally every single one.
So yeah, I think, and also because this was such a big invasion, you could say that maybe Xerxes got the combined ass whooping that his whole entire family deserved. Yeah.
What do you mean? Cyrus died. Darius almost died.
But he's still called the Great. He still founded a great kingdom. Darius continued it still. And Xerxes makes this. Bro, if he had succeeded though, he would have trumped his ancestors.
He would have
a
been
$1 billion%.
He would have been the closest thing the Persians had to Alexander the Great.
Yeah. Greece would not have been Greece. It might as well have been Iranian, sorry, so excuse me, if he had succeeded.
But again, as he even said, like if he wants these great rewards, he has to take a great risk. And as we know, high risk, high reward.
But high risk, more potential to fail.
Exactly. So
I think it could be also a thing because you have Xerxes, like he had like the same problems with Darius that Darius wanted to like surpass Cyrus. He managed to do it, but like that's what he wanted, and it seems to be a tendency with the Persians that they want to surpass their predecessors.
Well, yeah, right. It's this human, maybe even a Western, maybe not human, but maybe in Western culture, we always want to do better. We always want to do better.
So like,
right, the Greeks wanted to outdo and technologically improve, right? I heard that like the Egyptians didn't have this sort of cultural philosophy and didn't improve for centuries, whereas in the West, and Persia is definitely part of that, right? Zoroastrianism would definitely influence like Christianity and stuff like that. Like Persia at the time was considered like a decent part of the Western canon, and they also had this thing, right? And also Herodotus is writing, right? So this is from a Greek perspective. So maybe he's implanting a Greek perspective onto these Persians, and the Greek perspective is we gotta outdo our ancestors. We gotta do better. Sorry.
but like yeah, like we see how like we even see here like he says, I want to make a better empire, and obviously he's not gonna succeed. But like that could also be like something that should be kept in mind. He had the pressure of trying to trump Darius. Okay, that's the pressure he was on.
Cyrus and Darius were like Warren Buffett. They took an investment with Coca-Cola, Geico, Dairy Queen, paid off enormously, billionaires. And then you got Xerxes. Xerxes is like Sam Bankman-Fried, Elizabeth Holmes, Bernie Madoff, the Enron people, made a bet, cocky, lost everything. Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
To be fair, he does keep the empire.
No, yeah.
He keeps the empire.
There's no Chapter 11 bankruptcy for him.
It's like, yeah, sure, he loses a big chunk of his army, but he still lives after that. He has a son, who he named after himself.
Of course.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just named him Better Xerxes or Lesser Xerxes or something. Xerxes the Second.
Xerxes Jr.
His name's Artaxerxes, like, you just call him Xerxes, man.
Xerxes. No, it's like Junior. Dad, my name is Xerxes. No, as long as I'm alive, your name is fucking Junior.
But like, yeah.
But 10 out of 10 season.
Yes,
10 out of 10.
I think this might be tied for the best book so far. Like,
Yeah, I'll tie this with book 1.
Yes.
Like book 1 was like a big, like Herodotus put his loins into that book. He put his heart and soul into that first book to get us attracted. Right? Maybe it's because like he was starting this great work, he got excited, he went all out ambitious.
The big problem is that the other books were as great.
No, but then like he lets his inner nerd take over, right? He's like, I got you in now. Let me dump my hobbies onto you. Let me dump my interests onto you.
Let me dump literally every single piece of detail I want you to know.
Yeah, but like looking back, it looks like he really did that to build the scene for this. Because without those, we do lose some of the context of what's going on.
I guess it's true because it's for like a very small portion. He talks about like the cultures of the city or something like that. It just talks about like he talks about the people and their ancestors
And the cultural relativism that we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right that like, that build-up was like just learning the background for this chapter. I think it was kind of worth it though in that case.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Game of Thrones. Season 1, you're sort of setting everything up. Then the king dies, and the fun starts, man. The war begins, you know?
Then it gets better every season.
Yeah.
Every season.
Till season 4.
There's only 4 seasons.
Yeah, there's 4 seasons, yeah. I agree, Paul.
There's only 4 seasons. Why are you
I'm
talking
done. We're being that serious.
Yeah,
4 seasons. First 4 seasons. Then watch the last episode of the series. Yeah.
Actually, I have seen the last episode of the series. I just haven't seen any other episode.
So how are you watching it? You must have been like, what the fuck?
I was watching it
going on?
out of context. It was still good, but
You were definitely like, what the fuck is going on?
There's a lot of I don't know what this means, but it sounds pretty cool.
Solid Ice and Fire. Oh yeah.
They totally not ripping off of Lord of the Rings right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, any other thoughts you guys want to add? I mean, I think we did his job, maybe epicness. We talked. It was mostly about Xerxes, right? And we've definitely went into Xerxes as character. Also, Xerxes talked to his uncle a little bit about the fate of humans and how do we make sure that we're successful, even though it's uncertain. Anything else, guys?
I'm not sure.
I feel like.
Oh, one thing. Do you think they're gonna mention Croesus in every chapter? Because they did mention him in this chapter as well, even though he had nothing to do with it.
Let's have a friendly but poll. I'll say he gets. You're betting he does get mentioned?
I guess I would bet he gets mentioned at least once every chapter. Because I think in literally every single chapter before this, Croesus was mentioned at least once.
Paul, let's make this a little bit fair to me. If he mentions him twice, you would win this friendly bet.
Wait,
if he only mentions him once, I'm still. I will win this friendly bet.
Sure.
Yeah.
As in once in the next, or
Yeah,
twice?
just twice in the next book.
In the next book. Okay.
Wait, in the next book?
Yeah.
Well, I was talking about the other 2 books that are left.
That's what I'm saying. Like book 8, if he gets mentioned twice.
Well, mention
just in
both
book
8 and 9, or just 8?
Wait,
Just
I
8.
wanted it to be more. No, I'm not sure if it's gonna be twice.
Okay.
If it was 2 in total, then I would have taken that bet. But
Yeah, but 2 I meant in the same book. Yeah, you changed your mind.
bro, is Croesus dead? Like he might be
Yeah,
dead.
he might be dead. He's a fucking ghost.
But like,
He comes up, bro. If Herodotus is like he kills fucking Xerxes or his son, reestablishes the dynasty. The end.
no, straight up, Croesus was mentioned in Cyrus, and he was still alive, like in like Xerxes' time, like
Which is BS. We know
like
that's
no
BS.
fucking.
Unless Croesus is like the John Smith of the time. There's another Croesus.
Like they literally talked about like Croesus like the chapter before this, like he was still alive or something.
We'll see. Maybe he'll be a ghost, like in the Persians. The play.
Who fucking knows, you know? Like we there's one chapter with Apollo, so like you know, who knows?
You're right. Maybe Darius comes back to insult Xerxes.
Slap him in the face.
Just laugh at him for
You little shit. How the fuck?
Well, chapter 9 is just the Persians, you know.
The fucking exiled Spartan king gives you advice. You tell him to go fuck himself, pretty much. Like what?
It's like chapter 9, we just have to be like, this looks familiar. Why should I play
He just
now?
begins with Herodotus like this. The following text is from
written for the future generation. What?
just copy paste the entire.
No, but you just changed Croesus and Cyrus. You just switched the positions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
No, do you read Darius? It was the ghost of Darius.
But was it Croesus and Cyrus in book 1?
Oh yeah. Imagine like they replace like ghost of Darius with the ghost of Croesus.
yeah. Okay, sorry.
It's like that'd be fun. Honestly, I would love that.